Today we're going to talk about consuming fashion responsibly. There are two things I believe are the most important to have in mind when we want to embark into this journey of sustainability and being a more responsible consumer. The first one is boycott fast fashion. When we break commercial relationships with a brand or an organization is a proactive and powerful way of protesting and acting what we really believe. It's really important that we understand that as consumers, we are the ones that set the rules of the market. If we keep buying fast fashion, this system will continue to exist. On the other hand, we would all stop buying fast fashion. These brands would find themselves in a position where they need to change their ways in order to continue existing. In fact, it has been happening in the past couple of years that all these brands have many more eyes on them, and they had to start developing these more sustainable ways of producing. Although they haven't been achieved yet, unfortunately, they have been more like false marketing. But the fact that they are trying, it's a response on how the public is asking for it. But until then, I think what we should really do the most is stop buying from them. And this can have two scenarios. One is that they really have to find sustainable ways to survive because that is what the public is asking for, and they survive in a more sustainable way, or stop existing, which I personally think both scenarios would be great for what we're trying to achieve. And why? It is no secret that fast fashion has been responsible for one of the most terrible environmental and social disasters in our history. And this is not something that I'm just coming up with. There are plenty of studies and research that can prove and have been proving for the last couple of years the atrocities that have been made in society thanks to creating these really cheap garments that we have all bought. I'm going to mention some of the concepts that are involved. Each of this concept is really broad and complex, but I'm just going to go through it quickly, and if you're interested, I'm going to leave the presentation here, or you can focus on a specific subject. I will be happy to guide you to a document where you can search on it. Creating textiles has led to the misuse of energy, water, and chemicals, pollution of the oceans, a lack of control in the carbon footprint, weak environmental protection, a great contribution to climate change. Designs are meant to last a really short period of time, so we all have the necessity to go and buy another one and go back to them because they offer such low prices that they basically leave most of the population with no choice. Excess production of clothing that leads to an immense waste, which is a really big problem in developing countries. Maybe we feel happy when we can share the clothes that we don't use with somebody who needs them, but in reality, if we multiply this for the billions of clothes that are in the world, not all the people end up using them. They end up piling in developing countries, and it is a really big problem to deal with them. Psychological and social control. We all grew up with this beauty standard or other standards that the industry of fashion had there for us, and this really grew many frustrations psychologically in order for us to try to achieve something that is really not real. Modern slavery, forced work, and children exploitation. These are only some of the effects of fast fashion. And if you're interested in some of them, you can go and research specifically concept, and you will find some researches that show us a little bit of the reality behind these pieces of clothing. So I find this a really good motivation, knowing all these facts and then going to the shops to buy these clothes. It wouldn't feel right. So I try to take it in a positive way, to feel motivated to change our habits.